Ray in Maryland next up. Hey, Ray.
Hey, Eddie. How about my Ravens?
Yeah, that was impressive, man. That was very impressive.
Yeah, we're looking good going into the playoffs, I'm thinking. So I'll get into my top five. I usually
Ray, real quick.
never...
Ray, real quick. I don't want to divert to sports, but just since you mentioned it, did they lock up number one with the bye?
Yes.
So you're clear sailing. You got nothing to play for in the last 2 weeks.
We're sitting pretty right now, so I got no stress right now. So
all right, good for you.
Better luck. Good luck on the draft pick.
Yeah, that's what it's been for the Giants the last few years. Well, last year they played all right. They won a playoff game, but still, yeah, back to rooting for the draft pick again. I don't even know who the quarterback's going to be next year. It's crazy.
Oh, my God, I know, man. You must be going through something. But I'll get to my list. I would normally not put a tribute band in, but I got to see them twice this year. I've mentioned them on your show before. They're called The Land of Oz, and I got to see them twice. The second time I got to meet their singer. His name is Steven Desko, and Desko, I think it is, something like that. But anyway, I found out he also sings in a Dio tribute band called Live Evil. And, dude, these guys we're not going to hear live Ozzy these days, and they recently played the Diary album in its entirety, Blizzard album in its entirety, and they're just incredible, and they play the stuff magnificently, so I had to put them on there. My number 4 is a band that's a favorite of my wife's, and it's not in my wheelhouse, but I was pleasantly surprised, and it's the band Train. Pat Monahan is a brilliant frontman, great singer, and it was really a good rock show. They played some cool covers, and I don't know if you knew this. I know you were friends with Ralph Sorella. Pat Monahan was recently on Stern, and Fred Norris wrote a song dedicated to Ralph, and Pat recorded it and performed it on Stern, and it was really touching and loving. So if you get a chance, go check that out on the
I actually did hear that. Yeah, I actually did hear that. Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. I'm glad you did, because I know you and Ralph went way back. My number 3 was my number 3 show was seeing Rival Sons at the Fillmore in Silver Spring, Maryland this year. That's just unbelievable. I know how you feel about them, so I don't have to say much about that. My number 2 would have been my number 1 up until December 11th, and that was the 2-night Metallica thing, man, and I'm glad that guy shouted out Overkill, and Scorched would have been on my top album list too. Overkill killed that parking lot, but the whole 2-night thing with Metallica was just great for us. But my number 1, Eddie, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass because I'm talking to you on the air, was the 40th event of yours, and it was just that array of musicianship. And I rewatched it again, and a lot of people called in saying the whole show was on YouTube, and that was actually recorded by my friend Wyatt Birdwell, who, if you go to his YouTube channel, Wyatt's Metal Life, the whole thing's pretty much there. And rewatching it, even the big names that did like 1 or 2 songs, nobody phoned it in, man. It was just unbelievable. It was like this was their performance. They were going to do it. Everybody fucking killed it, dude. And it was amazing. It was great meeting you and, a lot of other people. And Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to my friends on the Fans of Eddie Trunk page. And everybody vote Eddie Trunk 2024. Let's make America rock again.
Thank you, Ray. Appreciate it, buddy. There's actually a shirt that says that some friends of mine made that I have for 2020 or something. Make America rock again. Vote Eddie Trunk. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I think that obviously my show had roughly 800 people there, of people that bought tickets or whatever. If you were lucky enough to be in there, I think most people would have it in the top 5, if not at number 1. Again, not because anything I did, because of the performances. And Ray touches on a really interesting thing where he said each act, nobody mailed it in, everybody pushed it. Well, there's a couple reasons for that. Number 1, everybody's in the wings of the stage watching the other artists that are performing. So there's just a natural, not rivalry, but, you up your game a little bit. Hey, I want to go out there and be the one everybody's talking about at the end of the night. So there's a little bit of that. The other thing about it is, let's face it, a lot of these guys are older. Sammy Hagar, Alice Cooper, Ace Frehley, Michael Anthony, Kevin Cronin. They're older guys. They only had to do 2 or 3 songs. So you could really, they really could lay it all out there because they weren't worried about getting through an hour and a half or a 2-hour set and still having any energy for the encore. They only had to go out and do anywhere from 1 to 3 songs. Pat Travers only did 1. Lita did 2. Sebastian did 2. Alice did 3. Sammy did the most, like 5, I think. Michael Anthony did some by himself. So that's the other thing, too. You have a lot more juice because you don't have to be out there for an hour. You can go do 10, 15 minutes and you can go relax or do whatever you want to do. But it's just that mix of people. And I know there's a lot of stuff on YouTube from my event. I've seen some. I haven't seen most, but I've seen some. And I've not seen what somebody called in yesterday that Ray said his friend shot the whole thing, and that's up there. But whatever it is, nobody's got what I got, which is the whole thing multi-camera pro shot and recorded. And in 2024, that's what I'm going to do my best to figure out what we can do with it, where we can put it, how we can let you guys see it. It's still a lot to be figured out, but there's just nothing we can do until the new year at this point. Everybody's shut down until, really people even start moving until after the first week of the new year. But that is something I'm looking forward to figuring it out for sure. Thank you for that call.